just face value, we know that when you want to dispose of it, there's no way because we don't have a movable asset registry yet. Therefore, you can ask for the generator you just bought for a medical diagnostic place, and the moment when you get there, you can't find it. How do I get to recover what I've given? Therefore, ab initio, I agreed with my partners that there's no way we call it collateral. Are you ready to go with me into this and say, okay, this one, there's no collateral. We'll only lend based on the structure they have. First, they've prepared their books very well, at least their bookkeeping. If you're a doctor, you need to get somebody who knows about accounting, who can help you say, okay, these are the receivables, these are the sales, these are, do you understand what I'm saying? We need that at least to be able to understand what you are doing. You might not understand your medical jargons, but at least we need to know how the money comes in and goes out. Very, very important. Therefore, if we can have that comfort, we can be able to lend to you. They need to keep proper financial record. As my Ndideka said, we need capacity building. If we know you know what you're doing, we need to move from that level so that we can be able to partner with you. And another thing is that all these SMEs, they need to register their firms. Stop working with your personal names. If you come to the bank and you say, okay, if you come with your name, you are running the business in your name, despite the fact that, you know, some people will even put the name, they have a special name for the hospitals or for the medical laboratory, but the account they are operating is in their name. That person is not ready to do any business with the bank. You need to register your business properly. Register with CAC. And also, you need, if you register, ensure that if you require maybe a particular license to operate, or you need to always renew a particular license every year, ensure it's there. As a bank, there's no way I will lend you money if your license is not current. That means ab initio, I'm working with someone who is illegal. These are very, very important things we need to put in place if you're going to be bankable.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Mr. Adeni, you have joined the sector from a different aspect of it. Ata Mansard is new in the system without being new in the system. Now, I'm sure before you entered the market, you were able to do your own analysis of the healthcare sector, and you found it to be a viable sector, quote unquote. How will you assess the past and the future developments in Nigeria as it affects the attracting investments in healthcare development?
First and foremost, we all know the regulatory framework in the time past, from the times of privatization, indigenization, and the challenges it faced in both in the early 80s, as well as the regime of President Okleta and former President Obasanjo, how it favored some privatization. That's why we had the telcos, we had the gradual privatization of the power sector. Of course, some of them are dropping a lot of dividends for us today. Now, from the past perspective, we realize that there's no way you can actually have a successful business environment without serious involvement of the private sector. Now, it's all a common knowledge. However, also, it's not just that the private sector will automatically drive growth just by default. It has to be properly structured. And I want to actually, again, re-emphasize the fact that there's no way a business will attract foreign investment or to be bankable if it's not well structured. We can have good character in terms of the way we do things, we can be trustworthy. But guess what? The skill set we have in running that business is part of the credit worthiness point, and it's highly significant. And I want to say from my previous experience in insurance, car insurance, before I moved into run health insurance, I realized that when you do things well, when you do things with proper structure, you get your books audited. Apologies to my doctors, and you know that most of our, 96% of our facilities, they are owner managed, and the doctor is the MD and the CFO and the chief administrator, and the one recruiting and firing, and it's also the clinician. And for it to combine all of this administrative role, it makes it very burdensome and something will be lacking. So the best business practice is not always available there. There is no concept of group practice. There's no concept of you doing things and having an hospital management system to run it. Good PharmAcess is doing well. PharmAcess is one of our partners now, but there are very, very few PharmAcess type structural companies. And until we get to that point, investment into that sector, either from foreign partner or DFIs, will be very difficult. I one time did a feasibility study on healthcare, and I got 2 funding organizations that funded me almost 80% on something that it was going to be useful for us. The first organization, FMO, I think. FMO is a DFI, Development Financial Institution from Netherlands. We also have Copaco from France. You have DPI in the UK. You also have all of these organizations that fund well, properly structured entity. And because they saw it as an innovative idea into the healthcare. So that research work was innovative for them, and they invested and they supported. I thought almost 70% of the thought. It's going to be useful for my business, but they funded, they saw it as an healthcare initiative that's going to drive growth in the future. Because they have 2 goals. They want to run a sustainable business for the developing countries. Also, they want to also be seen as supporting whatever affect the poor. So it's not, their goal is not only ROI, they also have a developmental goal. And that's why it's important for us to structure our business very well. Get your books audited by independent auditors, not necessarily talk about it here and go. It might be difficult, but see, get these things, it pays off on the long run. And that's the access story as well. These little things that we're doing right over the past couple of 8 years before Access arrived at the country, I'm sure the guys that sold Mansa today, they are smiling to the banks. I wish I were part of them that sold Mansa. All of us know the figures. We know the figures of the stock exchange and the figures that eventually bought. It paid off significantly high. So I think structure, corporate governance, the way we run that business is absolutely important. It's important to be able to understand business practice. Yes, health is fundamentally social. That is, it is meant to save life. But we must have the business cap to understand that if it will save life on a sustainable manner, we must understand the business element out of it. We must understand the insurance element, we must understand health system, and everything is not going to revolve around a doctor. It's only in Nigeria that doctor is the alpha and omega of healthcare practice. It's not done everywhere in the world. Doctors are the best of clinicians, and they're going to direct all the technology practice, and all the medical practice. But you have experts in several areas that are going to get the investment, to yield much more. Final point before you stop me. I'm going to talk about the fact that I want to suggest that our practitioners and our providers, they begin to adopt group practice. Our structure is so fragmentized that even when investor is coming, investor is first thinking of sinking a new one rather than buying existing. He's thinking of now, and there are a lot of people now about to invest into healthcare. I can tell you that a lot now. From IFC and all its associates, PharmAcess has access to plenty of them. Just go and meet them. However, they're not going to invest a dime to fragmentize, fragmented structure. We are not organized well enough. Can we group together? Can we come together? Can we begin to have group practice? Consolidation is important. Otherwise, they will come and start new ones and will be forced either to close down some existing ones or we will submit, we just want to join them. Now, I think we can make the best of the opportunity coming to the market. I can assure you that there is no other way to go than to have explosion in healthcare. And therefore, we need to get ready. We need to get ourselves prepared through proper structure so that we can get the best of the benefit in coming years.
Thank you very much. Yes, we're going to take one or two comments from the audience. I'd like to be specific and address certain people directly. But before we do that, I'd like to recognize the fact that our panelists have been able to show that indeed the private sector and the organized medical sector can work together to improve investments in terms of access to funds for the healthcare sector. And I think for that we deserve a round of applause. This couldn't have happened 10 years ago. They were not listening to the medical doctors at all. Everything was, they don't qualify, they don't qualify. Like you rightly said, it was as good as meeting up with the people. But obviously things are happening. I'd like to ask Dr. Abayomi Sule to respond whether in his own dealings with the primary healthcare centers, there are certain things that you can provide as useful guidance right now for the banks on how they can deal with this level of access. Because you did mention that there's a need to improve access to funding for those centers. What are those things, 1, 2, 3, 4, that, you know, I don't want an explanation, I just want you to itemize those things that you think they should take note of so that they can start thinking in that direction.
We need the personnel, we need diesel sometimes, and believe me, it's tough sometimes now. Sometimes it's difficult for some of us to be able to buy 1,000 liters of diesel, 100K, you know what I mean, but having something in place to finance the generator and also diesel for like 3 months before that generator starts bringing enough funding to repay not just the interest, but the principal also. Secondly, is to also understand how we can jointly stimulate, shall I say, the demand side from the insurance perspective. So, at the end of the day, whether it's putting an asset in place or personnel in place, we need guaranteed revenues. And there's no, I was telling one of my colleagues that waiting for people to get sick is not sufficient enough to cover our threshold. So, maybe this is to ask SharmAcess to see how we can partner together. And I keep saying, perhaps selfishly, that we don't need you to give us 5 lives or 10 lives. I'd rather prefer you give me 1,000 lives, you know, and the person that doesn't have any life at all, we can join together and do something substantial out of it. Because 5 lives or 10 lives, at the end of the day, is nothing. All of them are going to be inefficient. So can we have proactive stimulation of consolidation from the demand side also, so that at the end of the day, we are better structured to cater for your enrollees efficiently. And like I said, it's working together in a structured manner. So maybe even the working capital financing, we can do it on the back of the capitation that, you know, we can anticipate that it's coming because we have 1,000 lives. So if I have 1,000 lives with SharmAcess and they're paying me 750K, 750,000 naira at 750 per head, I know that's anticipatory for the rest of the year. And it's very easy for you to make sure that he pays into that bank account the capitation that is projected for 1 year. At least, all things being equal, those enrollees are not going to leave. So if we have, in my opinion, those two in place, it will go a long way. I think we'll be going outside the remit of the panel to place other demands on them. But working capital and the insurance companies proactively stimulating consolidation and efficiency in the payment, and then linking that up with the financing, making all that come into play, I think it will help.
Excellent. Has everybody seen what I tried to achieve there? Show the capacity that's in the healthcare sector. My dear brothers at Obaya. So please, you are impressed. Thank you very much. There are people that you can work with. I'd like to ask a commissioner here to please give us, any commissioner in the house, should please give us an opinion as to what has been said.
Anyway, thank you. I actually requested that I should be allowed to talk. Before I became a commissioner, and before I started doing this public health work, I was also in private practice. So I ran a 25-bedded hospital called Ibono Hospital, Jebugo. And in 2005, when First Bank was selling, I was in my office, and marketers from FCMB came to my hospital that I built without taking the bank loan. Okay? But the hospital was so attractive for them to offer me 25 million credit portfolio that I didn't need to buy shares, to buy First Bank shares. So the question to ask is that, am I credit worthy as somebody who has built 25-bedded hospital from nothing, okay, to get a 25 million loan I didn't request for, to buy First Bank share that I didn't want.
Rhetorical question.
So, I think we need to begin to engage seriously and honestly. The culture of banking in Nigeria does not support long-term investment. We don't support real sector. And when I was talking about health system investment at 3.7% of GDP, it is instructive. Because the culture of borrowing is a culture of quick turnover. So I was good enough to take the risk of buying First Bank share. That has nothing to do with my trading. But because there's a projection that it will become 100 naira by December, because it was July. But because they know I can pay 25 million plus from my own practice, the kind of credit they couldn't give me for my practice, they wanted to give me for short-term investment. I think it's about culture. It is a culture of banking in Nigeria. If we don't address that culture, we will not be discussing a sector, we will be discussing all sectors. That is number one. The second thing I need to bring is that banking do competition by the turnover and the profit declared by the end of the year. That doesn't happen in other countries. 1 billion, 132 billion, 122 billion, because we love free, volatile funding. So when we begin to give excuses, doctors are not, yes, I agree, and I'm one of them. I agree that we don't follow practices, but the bankers will be very interested to give other loan to the doctors who don't follow practice, especially if they are sure they can pay back in short-term investments. So the question to ask is that why don't you catalyze a system that will make sure that our investment is not only short-term, but is actually developing Nigeria and creating partnership that will bring forward a healthy population, that will create a workforce that can guarantee your investment in other sectors.
And I think the reason why we're here is to do that.
Finally, there's a McKinsey study of 2011. A McKinsey study of 2011. They had a very large, about 12,000 plus participants in terms of the sample size. They actually concluded that the clinicians are the smart cogs of the medical care. Go and Google it. The only thing that the physicians need is additional knowledge that will make him be a better manager. That is what the physician needs. Thank you.
We need to wrap this up so that we can also spend time doing that. I'd just like to advise, okay, 3, that PharmAcess, yes, 1, 2, 3, deal with all these opportunities